first deposit up to $600. Bets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We are live here in Kiev, and it's time now for our loser bracket finals, Bruno.
Yeah,
this is a big one.
I know, and it's going to be Cloud9 versus Evil Geniuses. It is a best of 3. Cloud9 just came from fighting Alliance. They were victorious there. EG relaxed, but still a little bit annoyed after yesterday's loss versus Team Secret. I don't know if you saw Arteezy's tweet about that.
Arteezy's always salty. Don't read too much into that.
He really is, but we're going into the game, and PPD didn't ban the Terrorblade. The Terrorblade through.
Yeah, Terrorblade was allowed through, and we're just taking a quick look at the teams here. So I guess we'll just go ahead and spoil the draft. I was wondering if Jakiro would be banned. That was the approach. So the approach Secret took was first phase. I think it was every single game. Ban Razor,
and Jakiro.
ban Jakiro. Yep. They stuck to the formula. It ended up working for them beautifully, 2-0. This time around, Cloud9 took a different approach. They ban out the Brew and the Razor instead. So they leave the Jakiro through, and EG say, whoa, really? You're going to leave our Jakiro? Great. We can build our entire pushing composition around it. They snap up the Jakiro. Cloud9 takes the Centaur Terrorblade, as you mentioned, and, well, now a Lycan pick for EG.
I'm trying to think. I think Mag played center every single game this Starladder.
We were talking about it upstairs, and EG, I think PPD was like, yeah, he played the one puck game.
Oh, right.
They lost that game.
They lost that game, yeah.
Ever since then, he's been playing Centaur, and they've been winning pretty much every game.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, okay, you can say maybe just remove the center to take a key person out of their comfort zone, because it's not that Mag is the best player of the team, but rather since he's the stand-in.
Yeah.
And there is a language barrier. Let's not kid ourselves. It's like he speaks English, but maybe in the fray of the battle.
Not the best English.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be able to communicate everything perfectly just straight away. Just by removing his key hero, you might put a little bit of a, a stick on the wheel.
Yeah, you drive a wedge in between him and the team.
Exactly, right. But I mean,
but he has a really good bat rider, and I don't think that you're going to ban that. So
well, they didn't ban that, and they still went for the center instead of bat rider, which I think it's good, because you stick to what's working. If whatever gives you the least amount of communication possible, the best. And center is one of those heroes that you can leave alone and he will get something.
Yeah, and always just pressing his ult is usually helpful to your team. Yeah. So in that sense, not the most difficult here to execute, despite not having perfect communication. And, well, fourth ban now out for EG. They see the Terrorblade. Hani was tweeting earlier that he thinks teams should be picking Zeus to counter Terrorblade. The passive is really good against illusions. Yeah. And he offers you a ton of magical bursts. And that is generally the best way to nuke down a Terrorblade is, first of all, fight him early, which Zeus is pretty good at. And secondly, don't try to fight through his armor. Just nuke him down.
And the other thing is, like, Terrorblade might go VKB later into the game, but he doesn't want to rush a VKB. Yeah. Definitely not, because, like, if you go into a VKB, then you suddenly are, like, your damage is good, but not impressive. And you will be delayed into
it's also not, Terrorblade's all about snowballing your farm,
exactly.
right? And BKB doesn't really help you farm unless it protects you from dying, which is okay. But
so, I mean, in any sense, if you force the Terrorblade to go BKB early, you're kind of winning that battle beforehand.
Yeah, it's a victory that he's had to build it, unless it's like late in the game and it's like a 6th or 7th item. But I don't know if EG will go that direction. Like, that's one way to try and fight him. The other way is to just shut him down before he comes online. And Jakiro Lycan, this is a very scary makings of a push strat, but Cloud9 aren't specifically focused on banning out pushing heroes. They ban out the Elder Titan, fantastic counter to illusion and stats-based heroes, which Terrorblade certainly is. This has been pretty potent. Some of the Chinese teams have been experimenting with the Elder Titan versus Sim, similar to Elder Titan versus Morphling. And I think we were like, that's interesting. They ban out the Drow, because most teams, when they want to block the Drow Visage, they ban out the Visage.
Yeah.
So I think Cloud9 sees that and they're like, why would you ban Drow unless you're thinking about taking Visage for yourself?
Exactly.
So they ban Visage in the second stage, and maybe that's a bit of a mind game from EG. I'm not sure if they had any intention of going for that.
Maybe they didn't. I mean, it will still fit in this push strat, because you have Jakiro, you have Lycan, but they decide to go to a very safe, defensive/team fighty support hero in Earthshaker.
This was first phase banned in the BO1 they played in the group stage. Cloud9 now choosing to kind of change their focus. And, well, like, for example, you could have banned Earthshaker instead of Visage, which I think would have been a better ban. But
yeah, and I mean, Earthshaker is so good against Witch Doctor because Witch Doctor is about the positioning.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember 1.5 years ago, you had to be just literally next to the ward when you casted the ultimate because the range was like 180. And now you have 600 cast range on that ward, meaning that Witch Doctor has more possibility to just still be behind and do a lot of damage. Earthshaker directly counters that. Jakiro directly counters that. This is going to be a really hard game for Witch Doctor.
Yeah, and well, it is probably an AUI 2000 Witch Doctor, in which case maybe he's able to farm an Aghanim's BKB. You never know. And well, at that point, you might need an Abyssal Blade to truly shut down his ultimate.
Yeah.
But Vengeful Spirit, the final ban from EG, as we get underway with this phase of the picks. And I think they're slightly worried about a Roche sneak. That was something that we saw out of Eternal Envy.
Ooh, I love this.
As the Fada Magnus will come off the board.
I love this.
Yeah, this gives you a super strong Terrorblade. They have a Witch Doctor Terrorblade, so there is still some early Roche potential. We saw Eternal Envy using illusions to tank it. Then you can Sunder. When you take it with your hero, you can Sunder illusion to get back to full HP. And they have to heal from the Witch Doctor to help them there.
Yeah, and here comes the Slark to put the pressure. And Slark is one of those heroes that, again, if you let them roam and let them get some semblance of an early lead, he will just drive everyone insane. The Witch Doctor will have to be very careful when roaming. You don't want to encounter that Slark in a 1v1 situation. And with all these tanky heroes, Centaur, Magnus, and even Terrorblade, which becomes tanky, just the fact that you can be able to steal their stats, take away their strength, take away a little bit of their armor, you'll be able to create a lot of havoc.
Slark is a hero that can obviously do more than a Terrorblade early before he comes online. But I think he's not going to 1v1 beat a very fat Terrorblade, but if he can stay ahead, he can take the Terrorblade down. You continue to steal stats, you get a Basher later on, and as long as you have some stuns from your teammates or he's not able to Sunder, you can kill him. So EG, I think this is the right approach. Stay aggressive with your picks. Pick heroes that can push early. They have push. They have long-range lockdown supports, an Earthshaker and a Jakiro. Well, he's probably not a support, but a long-range kind of utility teamfight type hero. These are heroes that are less likely to get caught by RP. And if you RP a Slark and he's Dark Pacted, then he can live. The other thing that will be big for EG is Force Staffs. I expect we'll see one fairly early on this game.
You definitely need that against the RP, against the Stomp from the Center War Runner, against Stampede in general, because that's going to be the initiation tool. And the fact that you have both Magnus and Center War Runner is really good, because when you only get one of these heroes, you feel that your initiation matters a lot. Like, you whiff the RP, you lost the team fight. And if you don't initiate and wait for them to initiate to just get the perfect RP, then maybe you lose the hero that you want to protect way before the team fight starts. But now with this, Cloud9 can say, well, Center, go, start, or like, Magnus, go. Don't worry, there's a backup for you, there's something that's going to protect you. And again, it comes to execution in the end, but wow. And that's a lot of AoE damage right now with the perfect RP into Ice Blast. That can win you a team fight.
That's a wombo combo. It also can be the Slark counter, as it prevents his regen. It's annoying to play against Ancient Apparition with Slark. It's kind of like how Doom used to be before the change was made, so you need Ags to disable his passive.
And it's going to be a Lion last pick. Okay. Lion, a lot of use, of course, a lot of disables. Mana Drain, good versus Terrorblade.
I love this pick versus Terrorblade. First of all, insane magical burst.
Yes.
Secondly, a Hex, so even if he builds Butterfly, you can remove the evasion. Mana Drain to clear out illusions, and
Hex also clears illusions.
Yeah.
So it's a very versatile pick.
Yeah.
Hard to lane, hard to like get something going on at the early stages of the game, but it's a Zai Lion. So in Zai we trust, he's going to find something.
But Cloud9 are not going to be aggressive this game, right? They're running the AUI 2000H Apparition. I had mentioned maybe an AUI 2000 Witch Doctor, but Pylite I did play it the last time they ran the hero, and unlike other teams, they tend to play it more as their 5 position. So these are not the most aggressive supports. Like, we did see an offensive tri lane attempted, was it Alliance who did it versus Secret with Terrorblade? I think it was. That was a total train wreck. I don't foresee Cloud9 doing that, which means your Lion can get his early levels, especially since you're running a PPD Earthshaker, and he's generally very selfless. And we might see dual lanes with PPD going top. With that said, Bruno, it's time for game 1.
Okay, let's see. Let's introduce the teams if you want.
Yeah, sure.
So let's start. Mac is going to be the standing for Cloud9, playing the off-lane Center War Runner. After that, we have Witch Doctor being played by Pylite. The other support is going to be AUI 2000 with the Ancient Apparition. In mid lane, it's going to be Magnus played by Fada. And finally, Eternal Envy, the carry that hasn't lost with Terrorblade in this playoff stage.
I don't think he's ever lost a game with Terrorblade. I believe he's 8-0.
8-0 with the
in
hero.
competitive games.
Yes.
So That is pretty scary.
Yeah.
But if anyone will be confident against Cloud9, it's a team that knows them very well. Your evil geniuses, the boys in blue on the Radiant side. We've got Universe on the off-lane Jakiro. That secret banned out to great effect. They let it through. Let's see if it's punished. Arteezy, with some extra Z's, will be going mid as the Lycan. That puts PPD onto his Earthshaker. Again, another hero that was banned the first time these two teams played in the tournament, allowed through. Fear on the very aggressive Slark, and that does leave Zai maybe the most important hero for their team, Bruno. He'll be playing the Lion.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's got a big role for this lineup.
He has to deliver. He will be the responsible of taking that Terrorblade at least until 25, 30 minutes into the game. Then there's not much you can do against that big of a hero, but if he can manage to slow him down, to stop him, it's going to be crucial for EG to get a victory. And I want to take a pause before, as the creeps are spawning. How long since we've last cast together, Odie?
It's been like 2 years? Year and a half, maybe?
July last year, it was the LAN World Cup.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Was that only last year?
That was only last year. Yeah,
Feels like 3 years.
Feels like forever, but we're back. We're back.
Good to be back, buddy.
Good to be back, absolutely.
Hopefully we'll get some more casts soon. We gotta fix that.
Well,
Give me a call sometime. You know?
Maybe I'll be dropping by, on another tournament. Who knows? Anyways, so Arteezy, Lycan versus Magnus. This lane is going to be about farming.
Yeah, a lot of farming. We will probably see him using his wolves to try and deny the runes as much as possible. Although generally Magnus doesn't particularly care about these first few rune spawns. He'll be more focused on just bottle crowing to some extent, and when he's not doing that, just getting that Blink Dagger out quickly. So it'll be a passive lane there. In the off lane for C9, they're running the Mag Centaur. One of the issues teams have had against Cloud9 is they've allowed Mag to get a lot out of this off lane, and I think it's a mistake, as we see Zai is sticking around bottom. They leave Universe on an island. He's having a much better time bullying the supports top, and I think if you keep Mag down, you really throw a wrench into Cloud9's mid game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that Mag...
Arteezy did get skewered back into the tower mid, but they can't finish him off.
He doesn't have a salvo, he only has Tango, so he's going to be slow to recover that HP, and during the meantime, he has to be very, very careful of what those supports are doing. Right now, fortunately, it's a great work by Universe, spotting everything that Paladai and AUI does. If they want to gank him, Arteezy will know.
Yeah, they're sending two supports, investing a lot in zoning him out, and it's the power of the liquid fire. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there's a fissure that I believe fully blocks Megan. Can he actually skirt out of this one? It's going to wear off. They've hexed him. It's the 2.5 second hex. Oh, they're just a bit short on damage. One more auto attack could do it. No, 2 needed now, maybe 3. PPD, he's clarity up. No clarity yet. They're just trying to run him down with auto attacks. There's your clarity. Fissure coming soon. Mag will stop. Tries to deny the neutrals, and no good.
Doesn't make it.
First blood for EG. They almost had it mid with Fada skewer back in, but they don't. And this is the ideal start for EG, shutting down the main initiator for Cloud9, to be honest, because the Magnus, well, RP is just not something you can spam. You know, you got to be very selective when you initiate.
Right.
Whereas Centaur can constantly fight.
Yeah, and that was a lot of execution. It was also a salve invested by Mag for trying to survive there. That might not mean much, but 100 gold in that race for the Blink Dagger is something that you always are happy that the opponent loses. Right now, EE goes top lane, Paladai with a cask.
That's slow. They've gone for the Maledict build. He turns with the dual breath. Didn't connect on Paladai. Universe low.
He has 2 more ticks.
Think
he's
dead.
dead.
Oh, yeah, he's probably dead here.
He doesn't have any
One more
tangles.
tick. He's very close, and he will fall. A kill. It goes to Paladai, and he barely survives. 14 HP remaining. I think he'd take the creep wave a bit on his way out.
Hey, the only HP that matters is the last one.
Yeah.
If you survive, you're golden. And he'll be able to go back to base easy. In the meantime, PPD now rotating top, trying to give a hug to Universe and maybe get a little bit of experience while Universe walks back to the lane.
They're doing a really great job on both teams of getting their early support levels. AUI 2000 already hitting level 3, and at the same time your Lion for Zai Tranquil boots up and level 3 in his own right. So far, he's not taking any points in Mana Drain. You don't particularly need it early game. It's more later on that you'll want it in order to keep those illusions down. But we may see just a value point soon, as level 1 Lion Hex nowadays is quite strong the way it scales.
Yep. What do you feel about Fada actually dominating these mid lanes, 19 and 8 versus 11 and 3? Normally you see Magnus dominating when he gets level 5, which he just got, because that shockwave spam starts getting scary.
That skewer back into the tower really hurts him. I think that's a big part of it. And Universe is diving AUI 2000. He has the boots out, but he's been slowed down by a dual breath. One more liquid fire. No, not even needed. The fissure of PPD securing that kill. The offlane Jakiro doing work. In the meantime, mid lane, Fada skewers in. If he had managed to get off one extra auto attack on Arteezy, he would have died. Now Arteezy turns, runs in. There's a single bottle charge. He was trying to bait him to turn and fight, but Not going to fall for it.
Not going to be enough, and that rune is not there anymore. So
Still, he forced out a TP rotation, so really nice play by Fada's mid lane, Magnus.
Yeah. The DD rune secured to Arteezy. He will probably eat a tango, get a little bit of mana and HP back, and just get an easier time in that lane. But Fada finds him. Uh-oh.
Not again. He's got Skewer pushing him down in the river. Shockwave
no
could end
mana.
this. Oh, no mana now. PPD with a fissure in 10. No, not going to have it in time. Still, it's 3 heroes chasing around the enemy Magnus.
Oh, Aoi, what are you doing, Aoi? That's
Fada was fine. Aoi, not so fine. Munched by Arteezy. Oh, that would have been so good for C9 if it had just been Fada there.
Yeah, but it just...
Instead, they give Xayah's level 4. He's on a great track for that early level 6. And
okay, here's the silver lining. Arteezy took so much damage and ate his whole bottle. He cannot go back to the lane.
Yeah.
That is
At the same time, he could Woods. He's got one more set of Wolf respawns. He's already level 5. And they could send a support here to take the lane, which I really like about Lycan mid. It's one of the few heroes that can, well, not one of the few, but one of the heroes that can efficiently farm the jungle from the mid roll, and it allows you to get your support some extra levels, which the Lion really needs. So I think we could see that from EG. For now, Xayah rotates back bottom. How are we doing in this lane? Our Slark 35 and 12. Mag after that early death. He's not getting his farm, but in good news for him, he is getting his levels. Level 5, closing in on Stampede.
Yeah, and that level 6 is going to be the crucial moment, because that's when you can actually go and take a play, either mid lane or top lane. Likely that you're going to kill the Slark right now, but that should not be your goal. The goal should be just like getting something going for Mag, so that the Magnus, so he can get
the other Mag.
The other Mag, yeah, so that he can get his Blink Dagger and just create a little bit more space, so that Terrorblade, which is having a great game so far, keeps having a great game.
Arteezy will now get his bottle back, but he's missing a full wave of creeps mid. They've rotated PPD towards top. Your Lion off in the woods. Perhaps a bit worried to sit mid alone, as that Magnus could potentially solo kill him if he gets off the Skewer RP, maybe from the fog. But I really think they could be doing a bit more with this experienced mid lane, and it is slowing Xayah down slightly. He's still on track for a reasonable level 6. Now they bring in the Earthshaker. No lane ward from Cloud9. It is nighttime. They could get the jump. I don't know if they can kill off these supports, and they may. Oh, they're looking for it.
Yeah, it is just level 2 Fissure, so it's not going to be huge damage from him.
Dude, Liquid Fire will make up for that.
Absolutely.
Against the supports. Maybe not against Eternal Envy. He's got his Sunder now.
Also remember that Fada has a TP, and he actually went for Arcane Boots before the Blink Dagger. He's not rushing the Blink Dagger, but he can still go there and rotate pretty fast. You don't want to just give a double kill to the Magnus lane, or like actually Eternal Envy if the Magnus rotates. So the supporters will have to be very careful regardless of how confident they feel right now. And Slark doing the right thing. He keeps farming. What do you think he should go for?
They have decent late game. There's 2 main variants, right? One is to go for the Midas and try to focus on a timey window around more like the 25. Oh, hold that thought. Mid lane, Fissures come in. They've initiated on Fada, but he RPs too and sucks them on the other side of the fissure, then skewers them back in the tower and survives. Fada, what a play!
This is what you had to avoid. This is the thing that EG didn't have to do. You have to be careful about that Mag, because he is level 6. He gets a good Fissure. Those supports cannot survive. The perfect skewer just there, Witch Doctor collects.
His RP, he turns and he RPs them on the other side of the fissure, then skewers them across. What a beautiful play from Fada. And that puts him halfway towards his blink. It also means those supports are no longer pestering Mag, and they're leaving Eternal Envy relatively unscathed. By the way, this is something you will always see from Cloud9 when they run that Terrorblade. Like the Lycan, he could go into the jungle, they give the support the lane, and as a result, Pylai Die hitting level 4, AUI 2005. They're a bit ahead here of these EG supports. Only a level 3 Earthshaker, although he is closing on 4 now.
Yeah, and remember that Witch Doctor and Ancient Apparition are on this race to level 6. That Lion is, but Earthshaker really isn't. Like, getting the Echo Slam on the Earthshaker without the Blink Dagger is not as effective as having that Death Ward or the Ice Blast right there. So great that C9 is getting all these levels right now, and great that Eternal Envy is still farming whatever he wants.
Man, what a play from Fada.
Yeah.
That really blew this game open, and I wonder how it affects EG's game plan. With that, it means a faster Magnus Blink, and as soon as he gets the Blink, it becomes a lot more dangerous to split push or to basically be aggressive in any other way. Like, you dive a tower, Magnus can come in and Blink RP you. even without Centaur having one, he could just stampede in and follow up. So I wonder if they feel like because of those 2 deaths, they can no longer look to just snowball and pressure C9 early, and they instead go more for the mid game. We're going to see, for now, just a very passive play from Arteezy.
Apparently, I just got a message that we don't have in-game sound on the stream.
Okay.
I don't know if that
I hear it, but it's extremely quiet, so
okay.
Maybe our producer can turn it up. I can try raising it a bit in-game, but let's see. We'll try bumping it up a bit. I know he said it was too loud for him earlier, but let's try.
Shout out to Trans, which he knows about streams.
He certainly does.
Yeah. So, well, here we see the smoke, and this is Fada, again with the RP, and Mag with the Stampede. If they found someone here, it's going to be a kill, but they're rotating, they miss Zai, and they're going to go for mid. Can they get PPD here?
They might even get Arteezy based on their positioning. They have a Haster up on Fada, and he's about to walk right into Mag. Oh, this could be bad. RP's there. They could skewer him away from the tower if need be. Fissure will interrupt. Then the combo breaker attempted by Universe. Pyle driving through. They've got an Ice Blast. Boom. They get the kill. Fada escapes to the north, and Mag and Pyle Die retreat to the east, and they all make it out. That's the level 6.
Fear found them. They don't make it out. Pyle Die. He's gone. Both are gone. How did he do it? That Ice Path looked like he was going to cancel both TPs. Was not long enough.
He was like 100 units short. Could have been a 2-for-1. Instead, it's a 1-for-0. And that's the power of getting the early net level 6 in the Ancient Apparition. This is why the Terrorblade is scary in C9's hands, because it gives their supports a lot more experience early on.
Yeah, and
it suits AUI so well.
It does, really. He's a carry player in his heart. Like, he was, bar none, before Arbitral Bulldog came, the best lone druid player.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And actually asking Eternal MB the other day, he says that our AUI is a better lone druid player than he is. And that's coming from Jackie. You know, he's a guy that likes how he plays himself. So a lot of respect to AUI and how he manages to find farms in the most unusual ways.
Well, with that, again, the big plays from Cloud9. That one was close. It's still a very even game, a 1,500 experience lead for Cloud9, a 500 gold lead. Not that much, but it does put them, being even is being ahead for Cloud9 right now. Just looking at their draft. EG go reasonably late. Well, bottom lane, hold that thought. Fear's going to leap in. He gets the latch off here, but Pyle Die's waiting to spring the trap. They could go with a double edge. Maledict damage will be...
the region offsets.
No, he'll start healing through it. Now they zap. Zai manages to finish off your Centaur on the retreat out. Can he run away? Ice Blast won't connect on him. Cask is cooling down in 5, but not soon enough to get that kill. So Zai gets on the board, finishes off the Centaur bottom. As Vlad randomly shrieks.
Yes.
Putting the fear of God into me, though.
Rotation top, the Sunder. He tried. Eternal MB,
doesn't stun anymore.
It doesn't stun.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It was not great.
Yeah, he barely even lost health because Eternal MB was quite full at his HP there.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
He tried. So he actually manages to TP away Terrorblade, something that was useful before. Now I think the range kind of offsets for it. Like, you will have these situations where you cannot stun, but 350 range is quite a big thing for Terrorblade. And he lost the top tower. He's going to try and trade and get one of his own.
Yeah, and the Jakiro did get the last hit. So we'll see the early Yule Scepter from Universe. Great item, of course, of Jakiro. Just Yules, then you Ice Path, and it's an instant stun when they drop down. Yeah. So they'll have some setup. They have still good counter-initiate against this Magnus, but where I worry is just that they haven't been able to execute. Every time that Fada's gone in, he's had to jump on them. First mid lane and in front of his own tower, and then again behind the Radiant tier 2. He's just been outplaying them.
Yeah. Question for you. Speaking of Lycan and he's trying to catch up, how worried are you of Roshan right now if you're C9? EG is still in the Radiant side.
I think both teams should be worried about Roshan. We saw Eternal Envy last game, took it very early, and of course, EG with the Lycan and Liquid Fire, which was great against Roche. They could go
here comes the Ice Blast.
quickly.
Is it going to connect with someone? No.
Where did it go?
Fountain? No, I don't know. I saw it fly, but I didn't connect anything.
Maybe it was just scouting with it. I'm not sure. But yeah, everyone on EG is full HP for now. And they move up the ramp. They're going to be revealed by Paladai. Also on the smoke. Cask, he gets fogged as he was thinking about casting it. Both teams will back off in the end. Mag will retreat too. Yeah.
But I think the winner of this kind of skirmish that doesn't happen is EG, because EG is taking the jungle from Cloud9.
They got a ward down too. Very important versus the Terrorblade.
Yeah,
because Eternal Envy will abuse this jungle if left unchecked.
Yeah. Fada already has a Blink Dagger. He was smoking. He decides to farm that mid lane. He is doing well. He is kind of like the X Factor for now. But then again, Mag scouts the Regent rune and is going to give it to him. Mag needs to get that second Blink Dagger because that's when C9 will start shining. And if at that point they're still even or ahead, it's going to be really hard for EG to go back.
Yeah, at the same time, Zai is getting close to his blink, and against the Terrorblade, I think this is one of the very best heroes you can have with the instant hex and the Finger of Death burst.
Yeah.
That plus one follow-up stun, and they probably get a kill on Eternal Envy from full to nothing at this point. So you'd ideally like to kill him. Killing the Centaur wouldn't be too bad, but you'd ideally just want to keep this Terrorblade down, as he's still in a very squishy stage of the game, only 740 health.
Here's my plan. You keep the Witch Doctor near the Terrorblade very often.
And just sunder him if need be.
And just sunder the Witch Doctor if someone jumps on you and you manage to survive.
Yeah, it's a little difficult with so much AoE. Fissure, Ice Path, the Yule Scepter as well is now up, so easier said than done, but could work.
Eternal Envy blocks the camp accidentally just by walking into it at the 15-minute mark. He's going to be happy just farming the easy camp right now and going back to the top lane.
Rest in peace, efficiency.
Ah, God damn it. I know he hates that.
Well, I mean, they lost, obviously. He's lost in the Abyss, now they've lost the game because he blocked his own camp. Yep. GG. The smoke coming bottom. They got counter smoke. But actually, PPD reveals himself trying to counter this war. So now C9 knows exactly where they are. They could get up on Fear. He's hiding in the tree line, though, and he's in good position to potentially reveal this smoke. Mag's still trying to farm his Blink Dagger. Okay, and now they get Fear. He didn't. Oh, he did Dark Pact in time. The Skewer off the mark. RP down. This is a window for EG. Maybe they try to force something. And if they do, then Eternal Envy should just be split pushy this top lane. Arteezy for now is holding the line, and without him, EG don't really have that much push. So it seems this fail RP may not be punished.
There's not much they can do right now. I mean, the only thing they can do is group as 4 and try to push either mid tower or bottom tower. As they are scouting Roshan and PPD finds the illusion runes, clearly those two illusions are going to scout and just reveal. Paladai finds one of them. He's going to try to remove it as soon as possible. Bounty rune bottle for Lycan, and Lycan, he's been a little bit unmolested since those annoying ganks in the mid lane. Yeah, Arteezy has caught up very well. He's now 1,200 up on the Magnus, which should be the case, as he's the one position. Fear going for more of like your gank or snowballer, even though he started in the safe lane. He did not end up going Midas. He went for the Blink Rush. So I feel for EG, this Blink Dagger on line has to pay off, because with Cloud9, that was a whiffed RP, but at some point these are going to start connecting. And at the same time, your Centaur Blink is closing in. Slark is a bit squishy to initiate right now. He can pick off the supports if they're visible, but going onto cores is much more difficult for him, and nobody else can really do it that well. Like, they have good long-range initiation, but they're not that mobile. Earthshaker and Jakiro, somewhat clunky. So I'm counting on Zai for EG. If they're going to find some pickoffs, it's through him. And for Cloud9, even if they do get the jump, there is always Stampede to disengage, and the counter-initiated RP. Yep. And with that, Jakiro actually took the bottom lane. There was only Pilot to stop him, which can't do really much with only Tranquil Boots. But he's level 7. He didn't decide to go for 4 points in Paralyzing Cast because... Oh, man. Look at this. Look at the stack. Oh, yeah. The Cleaving Terrorblade. Normally, he's thought of as a range carry, but in this case, well, free Fountain Trip. Go back to base AO 2000. That's actually okay, because he has Tranquil Boots. He doesn't really need to go back to base. He just Ice Blast to wave. In the middle lane, there was a dive attempted by Fada. He gets Zai attempting to catch him out. He hexed, of course. That won't slow him down with the Stampede. He's able to retreat out. Ice Blast will hit him. Not going to do too much beyond that, though. I'm going to take this moment before a teamfight engages. A lot of pro players are saying Haste Rune is Imba. It's by far the strongest rune. This was a Stampede. It was not a Haste Rune. But what do you feel about that? What's the reasoning behind it? That Imba? You can, like, it's so useful for most heroes more than any other rune. Like, a DT will give you a couple more right hits. In the right stage of the game can win you a game. Haste is useful level 1 because you can get you kills. It's useful level 6 because you can get like something that you would otherwise need a blink on. And it's useful super late game because just by cannot being slowed in pop BKB or something like that after. Is it Imba if both teams can use it? No, it's more like it's whoever gets it, it's really, he gets a huge advantage. Yeah, I mean, there are a few things that remove haste runes in the game. Like you've got Doom, Invoker, Tornado, so. Where's the Invoker? I miss Invoker. Vici Gaming have been running it. Yeah. Black on his Quaswex Orchid Invoker. Does he go Urn? No, I think he normally just rushes. That's like normally FY or Fenrir who go for the Urn, but he just rushes his Orchid and he Ghost Walks around the whole game. It's kind of like a Clinks, except
a much more team fight control heavy
Right.
Quicks.
Oh, bottom lane.
They're going
Jump
in
on
with an
Arteezy.
RP. They found Arteezy, but backup's here in the form of Zai. He can break this combo. He leaps in. He doesn't actually cast anything. They keep the Wolves on Nafada.
3 seconds for Stampede.
Oh, actually dodges the stun of Zai. Now we'll hex him up, but he doesn't have mana. Oh, there's your follow-up damage. EG return in numbers to the bottom lane, bringing in everyone except for Fear, and they will punish that over-aggression from C9. The second failed RP in a row. This time, I mean, he hits the hero, but still not converting into kills.
Yeah, Amang actually had Stampede before, way before Farah died. I don't know if he decided not to use it because they want to use the aggression soon after, but that could have saved, definitely could have saved Farah right there. Panic control mode, I guess. And here is Roshan for Arteezy. He pops his Necro Book, he's going for it. It gets scouted. Does it stop it though?
Well, he did use his ultimate for this, and it has a decent amount of duration left, but they do not want to get caught in the pit. It was a good time to do it. RP's down, but I guess not good enough.
Are we the Wolves?
Yeah, they're going to try and snipe him. This will take a while, though. They can only peck at him. The Tranquil Boot's definitely important here to help keep him alive against those Wolves.
Yep. So nothing's going to happen. They actually managed to deter Roshan with only 1 Ice Blast, which is a very cheap way to do it. So
if Centaur didn't have his blink, that would be easy. I feel like they're on the verge of being able to take that even with the Centaur having a blink, but if you lose that fight and Eternal Envy gets Aegis, you have forfeited any chance of controlling the mid game.
yeah, and Eternal Envy, he's getting scary right now. He decides, I agree with his choice, he decides not to go for Radiance. Yes, you will farm a little bit slower.
The only person who I've seen do that, I've seen CTY, I believe.
Yes.
Does it for, what team does he play for now? It's not VG Gaming. It's
HGT?
HGT, no, I don't think it's HGT. Either way,
Yeah.
I think he's the only one I've seen go Radiance consistently in pro games. Most of the Western players just go for the stats-heavy build, which it just makes you stronger at the early stage of the game, and you still farm extremely quickly, even without the Radiance burn.
Yeah. But he will get that Manta, and right now he also has another ultimate, or if he wants to go scatty, he becomes really scary. The problem when you see other heroes going for this heavy stats build is that they don't do any damage. For example, Medusa.
Well, bottom lane, Blink in and Hex to start. They've got a Magnus to back this one up. They skewer in a very fast Wolf. Eternal Envy cannot get off the Sunder, but Ice Blast will come through. It connects on nobody. Now the Ice Path. EG, too many heroes at the point of attack. Ready to respond was the Magnus, but they didn't have enough follow-up. Again,
Great rotation.
yeah, we're going to try and boost the in-game sound a bit more, guys, so let's see if this will fix it.
That is the thing. Whenever they want to go for that bottom tower, EG is always there, and that will probably mean the RTC is going to get these Aegis. There's pretty much no way. Ice Blast is on cooldown. There's no Stampede. Witch Doctor is way too far away.
That's so big for EG.
Yeah.
They blew the RP. They lose their Terror Blade. It delays his item progression. It puts Arteezy back on top, and it prevents C9 from getting the Aegis. And I think that's one thing that Alliance weren't quite, well, maybe they were concerned with it, but not quite good enough at doing, is preventing him from taking Roshan. He took it quite a few times in that series, and once Terrorblade has an Aegis, he's got so many more opportunities to Sunder, and you get off that Sunder late game, you generally win the team fight. So it's a big deal just to deny it to the Terrorblade.
It is important, but at the same time, C9 can still do whatever they're doing now, which is farming the Terrorblade in their jungle, pushing the other lanes with the other 4 heroes, just getting ahead in the farm game, or just at least trading even. If they get the Aegis, EG definitely has to do something about it, because the more this Terrorblade gets to farm by himself, the more scary things are going to get later.
By the way, Bruno, Universe has taken every single tier 1 by himself. Arteezy as a Lycan has yet to take a tower. Every single tier 1, as we see the mid removed from the game by Universe, has been that twin-headed dragon, the Jakiro. Maybe this is why teams ban it against EG. I mean, you run a Lycan and he doesn't take 1 tower, but the enemy off-lane Jakiro takes 3. That's pretty crazy.
Well, the thing is that if you want to, like, you would like to be able to ban Universe altogether, because that guy really, no matter what hero, you talk about his Jakiro, but you can talk about his Faceless Void or anything.
Body blocks on the bottom lane. Pylai dying. No, resummon the Wolves. He will now deploy the Necro Book, but Arteezy's a bit nervous to chase in further, and wisely so. The entirety of Cloud9 was waiting.
Yeah, and there's everything, or a lot of things going on in that bottom lane right now. EG
Not good
defending
things.
that tower, it's actually pretty impressive, the value they put into that, because they know of course, they have to keep map control, but if they lose this tower, then suddenly the Terrorblade can feel much more comfortable farming their jungle as opposed to their own jungle. And that is space that C9 needs, and that space C9 will take advantage of if they can.
You know, if this does go late, initially you look at C9's draft, Magnus Terrorblade, good AoE follow-up to that. You're just like, okay, they have the Eternal Envy Terrorblade, 8-0. EG don't have a shot late game, but I think they do. They have mass AoE from Jakiro, great at clearing out illusions. You talked a lot about Zai, who has max mana drain. Lion's great at clearing them out, has the burst to maybe take them down.
Mag's Stomp, Fear. Witch Doctor was getting caught, but Mag just came there with Blink Stomp and managed to get away.
Sorry about that, guys, but no miskill at least. But yeah, if it goes late, Earthshaker also crushes illusion-based heroes. So I think EG could take this late and potentially still come out on top. It's really going to come down, for me at least, more to execution than anything else. And
actually, interesting thing about Eternal Envy, if he's going for Skadi right now, it's not going to be a great Skadi. Because, of course, the supports will die anyways, and the Skadi will just only add up to that. But Lycan, once he pops the ultimate form, that Skadi does nothing. And even to Slark as well, because he can leap away, he will be able to be very mobile, pop the Shadow Dance. You can't really stop him.
They found out the Witch Doctor, though. Pilot Eye thrown up in the air by Universe. He burns in the flames, and Zai collects the kill. EG starting to pull ahead here in the pickoff department. And at the same time, this opens up the map bottom. Arteezy will push in. Necrobook 3 deployed, but RP'd. And Skewered back in deep under the tower. There's still an ultimate and an Aegis ready. Fissure will block Mag off. He's out of mana now. Then he gets dunked by PPD. EG again with the pickoffs. And just with the better counter initiate, this is the power of their supports. And the offlane Jakiro. That Yules does so much to counter initiate and to set up kills. And so too does the Fissure and the Blink Dagger on Zai.
Great patience from PPD there. He saw everything. He waited. He got the RP. Knew that the RP skill was not going to kill it. Wait until Mag came. And when Mag got, like, as you would say in soccer, in offside position, he just fissured, killed, and traced very, very efficiently because Arteezy survives. No age is spent, and Mag dies.
He really does excel in those defensive supports.
Yeah.
Zai picks up a Yule Scepter now. Another way to potentially prevent the Magnus and Zedtar initiation, and it is starting to feel like C9 may need some BKBs. There's just so much chain stun, and that is the direction your Magnus is headed. Picks up the Ogre Club. Not Magnus, also going that way.
Yeah.
They need these. The Yule Scepters are just going to ruin them when they try to initiate otherwise.
Okay, I think it's a Skadi for EE, which I'm not sure I entirely agree with.
What would you go for instead? It's just such a value item on Terrorblade.
It really is. It really is. But, I mean, even Lincoln's still gives you stats. It is more defensive.
There's so much AoE from EG, though.
You just don't want to be hexed.
And you could just mana drain to break that, too.
Good. It just gives me time to react. Like, what you don't want to be is just, like, straight down initiated upon and burst before you actually have time to react. Maybe even BKB would be fine.
I think the solution not getting burst down for C9 is trusting in your team. So far, C9 haven't always been ready to protect Eternal Envy, but they should be later on. Like, if they're gonna take this late, they need this Terrorblade to hit as hard as possible. So I agree with you that the Lincolns would help him avoid getting picked off if he's on his own, but ideally that just doesn't happen. But right now the state of the game is such that EG are controlling the map. They lead by 8,000 gold. They were in a similar position the other day against Secret, albeit with a different draft. And then they've lost that lead. Let's see if Cloud9 can turn it. Same for the gold, the experience a little bit more, around 10,000. And there's going to be a smoke from C9.
Dum, dum, dum. The Wolf is trying to scout. Of course, Wolves don't see smokes. They do see the illusion, but I mean, seeing an illusion means nothing. Terrorblade is going to send those illusions all the way around.
They're going to find Lycan. He doesn't have his
Arteezy
Aegis anymore. Stomp is there. The follow-up double edge comes through. Then they maledict him, and they do connect on Arteezy. Big takedown for C9.
That is a big kill. Right there, because Arteezy is the guy with the biggest net worth. Universe with a combo yields into
X marks the spot. It's a Fissure on one direction available. Not used yet, though. They Echo Slam. The Fissure now pop. And from the backside, they spring the trap. Fear jumping in. He's already used his ult. He still leaps on our Eternal Envy, who already sundered. Not surviving. They impale him. They focus him down. It's a triple kill for Fear. 4 heroes dead. And not done just yet. AUI 2000 trying to trade, but he gets stunned. Another stun. Enchant Totem. And this Earthshaker lumbers to freedom. Not so fast to AUI 2000. Mana drain. Chain stun. And ultra kill for Fear. EG. Clean house.
5-for-1 exchange.
That looks so good. You just kill. instantly kill the Terrorblade and get out, but they ran forward.
Yes.
And they got completely punished for it.
Yeah, that is the problem. And the Sunder used a little bit too early maybe for Eternal Envy. He got caught out. He had no support whatsoever. And facing 3 heroes is okay when you're Terrorblade 50 minutes into the game, but 30 minutes into the game without any defensive BKB-like items, you're going to get toasted.
He may need a BKB, honestly. Like, obviously, it hurts your late game a little bit, but dying like that hurts it more.
He's trying to go for a Butterfly, which is going to be really good against the Lycan and the Slark if they don't go MKB.
I kind of think he has to go BKB. Now, the issue is that Fear already has a Basher.
Yeah.
And he's closing in on Abyssal Blade. So even if you get BKB, they may still be able to just use Abyssal at the right time and prevent you from sundering anyway. But they just haven't been able to protect their Terrorblade. Part of it's EG's draft, as you were talking about it, and I think very wisely so in the earlier stages, they have such good initiation, so much AoE, it's hard to get in close to protect
that
them.
wolf. That cheeky wolf got the kill from that Ancient, 117 gold going for.
This is so annoying. Like, you can't even split push.
Nope.
There's a Lion in one lane cleared out illusions. The Lycan can handle them just fine. He's popped his ult, actually, and he's pursuing into the trees where Fada will blink away. I'm not going to actually kill him off, but he will get the tower deny. And at the same time that's happening, they're going to take this tier 2 top, or at least attempt it. Scouting for the Roshan is Cloud9, but it's not respawned just yet.
And the map gets smaller and smaller for C9. As you see, the ward placement very aggressive from EG, denying them that jungle, or at least free use of that jungle, while the only thing that C9 can control, or attempt to control, is the Rush Pit.
Man, EG had a plan for this Terrorblade. They have a strong lineup to deal with them early, a lot of lockdown, a lot of magic damage. If it goes late, mass AoE, one of the best illusion counters in the Earthshaker as far as supports go, and in the Lion too. And then you've got a hero in the Slark who can man-fight most carries later on, especially once he gets an Abyssal Blade.
Yep.
They didn't ban Terrorblade, and he's 8-0. Eternal Envy is on that hero, but this seems like, so far, the way to beat it. Now they're going to go in on the Witch Doctor. BUI 2000 caught out. That fail does work. Finger used to. They'll get the
Fada,
kill.
no.
Now the follow-up. Fada, he's still burning in the Macropyre. A secondary Yule Scepter will hold them in position as Fear lurches in, jumps onto Mag. They'll kill off the Magnus. That brings 3 down, and they look for a 4th. Arteezy suddenly shows up. They'll collect yet another 4 kills. When you're just stacking up quad kills fight after fight, you know you're in trouble. And what do you know, Bruno? Perfect timing. Roshan
Just Roshan spawns out there.
How convenient.
Really convenient. Arteezy is going to take this in no time. And the last 5 minutes, it's been 9 versus 2 in kills for EG. This game is getting more and more away from C9. Of course, they are not the guys that will call an early GG. They really want to wait. And they know that if we get a good fight, maybe, with comeback mechanics, they will be able to try and get back into the game. But right now, it feels like they don't need a good fight. They need 3.
Eternal Envy's kind of got a rat from here. I'm not sure they can fight. Not for a while, anyway. It's so difficult to get off a good RP. There's still no BKB on the Magnus. Every time he jumps in, they can use Yule Scepters to control him, Fissure, all the other lockdown we've talked about. And he's trying for that rat, sending his illusions to the bottom side, clearing out the creep wave. Now he'll TP out. Yep. But at some point, EG are going to deal with these illusions and be able to threaten a high ground push, or at least to lock C9 in their base. And I don't know, I just don't see him getting off Sunder in these fights unless there's a 4 or 5 hero RP.
That is actually the smart thing about this lineup from EG. Like, as soon as they see that, I mean, let's say Eternal Envy is trying to focus, he's getting focus, and there's a Slark full health. As soon as he sees that he is getting low life, he pops Shadow Dance, and suddenly you can't. Lycan the same. As soon as he sees he is low life, he just runs away, and there's no way the Sunder will come on time. So it's going to be very, very hard. Shaker will cape to his back, Jakiro will keep to his back, and Zai, I mean, he's the guy with the positioning. He will never, never be in that Sunder range.
If they want to get a good RP, C9 probably need to fight from their base. So should they venture out, it's just unlikely EG will congregate too closely. They put the Lycan in front, the Slark nearby, but everyone else sits back. The Jakiro off here, your Lion of Zai way back in the jungle, and PPD was just chilling in this region. So at most you're getting 2 or 3, but getting all 5, not going to happen.
I don't want to say that I think C9 in paper has a really good high ground defense lineup. Unfortunately for them, a lot of this relies on the illusions that right now die really fast. The Witch Doctor, if he had an Aghanim Scepter, would be great, but he's nowhere near it.
It's a Pylai Die Witch Doctor. He generally just doesn't get the farm priority.
Exactly. And Ice Blast, while it can clear creep waves, it's not going to be enough right now. He does have the Aghanim Scepter, which means that if he gets a kill, if he gets the blast to go, it's going to disencourage EG from just initiating.
Cheeky play from Zai. That'll be the Force Staff coming out for him now.
Yep.
And they still have not lost the tower top. The tier 1's still alive. Tier 2s are still standing. At 34 minutes, honestly, we don't see this very often for Eternal Envy's Terrorblade. Normally, he's successful top lane. There'll be a blink in as Fear uses his Abyssal Blade and goes to work. He needs a secondary bash to secure this kill. Maybe not. Yules is there. The illusion will be removed. And then Zai follows up just with a Hex. Another clean kill.
Perfect timing. There was no chance that that center could cast anything. Another kill for Fear, which right now is getting hugely scary. He has the Abyssal Blade, he has the Eye of Skadi, he has 3,000 gold. Blink Dagger for Earthshaker. This is getting really, really tough for C9. Hey, 8-1?
Yeah. He started off slow too.
Yeah.
He farmed well in the lane, but he got the early blink, and I think there were like 4 or 5 minutes after he bought the blink where he maybe got 1 kill during that time, but then suddenly a team wipe, a 4-man kill, and he got an ultra kill in one of those fights, and it's turned around.
Yeah.
And these illusions just are not able to split push. Again, they get killed off top lane instantly, mid lane as well. How often do you see a Terrorblade who's farmed? And Eternal Envy is pretty farmed. He's gone for that BKB, Manta, Eye of Skadi, where all the lanes are basically across the river against him, or near the river.
He bought the full BKB right now. He was going for Butterfly, and he said, no, screw Butterfly. I cannot do this.
He also needs a Butterfly, though, because Slark still has the Abyssal Blade. So I agree with this choice entirely. He needs a BKB, but then he's got to get the B-Fly as well. And by that time, maybe Fear has an MKB. He's close to the gold for it.
The situation that's going right now for C9 is that the Terrorblade, because of the farm he has, he will be able to farm with his illusions and maybe just like going to his jungle very carefully.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team is not going to get anything. So look at Mag right now. He has a BKB. I don't think he will go for any other item. He will not have any more.
Look at the farm chart. If you just sort it by team, Eternal Enemy's got this gigantic bar, and then everyone else is desperately poor. Whereas for EG, it's a much more even spread. 3 cores that are into the 5 digits, and the supports are still at a decent place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a much more balanced spread overall.
So, again, pretty good for Eternal Blade to keep farming. The rest of the team is not getting any more. Arguably, you can say that if Man completes their BKB, they don't really need much more outside from a couple 4 staffs.
Yeah.
But still, you're one coring against 3 really farm heroes. Can you stop him?
And then he doesn't need more items really on the Magnus aside from maybe a refresher, but he needs to hit a great RP. Yeah. And it's just been escaping him since the early game. He had that magnificent, almost a vacuum RP, sucking them over the fissure, but he just hasn't found too many openings since then. EG just positioned well, and it's just a tough lineup to jump into.
I love that. Magnificent RP. I'm going to start using it.
Okay. You can use it. I won't copyright it.
Yeah. Okay.
I've copyrighted the word magnificent now.
Magnificent.
Magnificent, indeed.
Pretty good. So anyways, speaking of mobility, Zai has the Force Staff, has the Yule, has the Blink Dagger. At this point, if I'm Zai, I might as well go for an Acceptor.
Yeah, why not?
The thing is,
he can get whatever. I mean, another Hex could be okay as well, but whatever he wants is fine.
I don't think they need it. You just like, you have so much going for you, like, and the only hero that you have to really stop is the Terrorblade. I mean, and normally you want to have an Acceptor when you have the Magnus on your side, like something that will clamp up the heroes if you have like a Darkseer or something like that. But because EG is so ahead of C9, C9 will be forced to, if they found someone, clamp together to try and kill that person. And what a better way to capitalize on that than just say, okay, thank you for being all together. The 5 finger of death.
Yeah, it's even nicer if you have the Magnus in the Radiant jungle. The Eternal Enemy will BKB, and he tries to jump on the Universe. Might be his first kill in a long time, although Arteezy looks to change this, comes charging in, starts munching into him, and they will get the Zai kill in the meantime. Eternal Enemy forced to TP out. Zai ended up going down in the Dire jungle. Let's see, they used a Stampede for that and an Ice Blast, so nothing too significant. But it does cost them that 10-second BKB charge for EE.
Yeah, and he could have gotten that, okay, Slark finds Pilot Eye.
Looking for more now, jumping onto Mag. He'll Dark Pact off this first stun. Abyssal Blade was used.
He doesn't want to keep chasing. One of the important trademarks of a good team getting ahead is that they know when to stop. Sometimes you're the super farmed, I mean, you're the most farmed hero in the game, and you feel you can take over the world. Fear said, I'll cut my wins here, not even my losses. I'll stop playing, just get away with what I got, and not give them not even the slightest chance to come back.
Yeah, it's like the difference between that and what we saw in the Radiant jungle, where they got that first kill with RP and then they kept on chasing for more from Cloud9.
Yeah.
And showing discipline and restraint here. It's actually something that they showed too much of versus Secret, was too much restraint.
Yeah.
But I think this game, given the state of the game, 1 hero farming versus 5, that you can get away with it.
Yeah, and he already has enough money for his... he's going to get the Talisman of Evasion. Maybe he'll trade for his Ring of Aquila, I'm not sure. Maybe he just wants to keep that ring. But after that, just 1,000 more gold, and he will have his full butterfly. Whether this will mean that they can actually fight right now or not is to be seen. But truth is, while Eternal Envy is getting a lot of farm, so do all 5 heroes from EG.
Yeah, creep wave cleared out mid lane a bit by Zai. He'll impale that Universe, just dual breathing it. They're also tanking up against physical damage. There's a lot of damage mitigation now on EG, so even if this continues to go late, and even if they're not killing Eternal Envy, they can take a beating. Jakiro naturally pretty tanky, sitting on 32 armor as they'll rotate towards the bottom lane. They've also got the Assault Cars and the Vlads on the Lycan, so he's sitting on 29 and giving his teammates a bonus 10 armor on top of that. That's a lot of damage mitigation.
Something that you said once in the cast and it like struck to me, I was like, yeah, that's the perfect analogy is Lycan already has the Assault Cuirass. And you said back then, this is the item, like, getting this item is an arms race.
Yeah.
And you, like, if the other team gets an Assault Cuirass, your team has to get an Assault Cuirass. Otherwise, you'll be in a deficit. It forces you to do so.
Yeah, it's something that Merlini's been talking about as well during Starladder. Is like, oh, they have an AC. You need an AC, generally speaking, in those situations.
And no one will be able to farm that AC from the team of C9 right now. So it's going to be a huge advantage to the Lycan team. And now everyone grouped together. I think they need a 5-man smoke. Is this desperation? Is this trying to get an advantage? We'll see.
Well,
they are ready to fight, and I think they're going for Roche.
They know the next Roche could respawn soon, but there's a courier here, as well as a Dire Observer.
See? No, it doesn't see.
That's actually the Dire courier, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're in the river. EG could get caught out here. They've got an RP ready.
There's a butterfly. There's a butterfly.
Zai, he goes in with the monitoring, then he Force Staffs, dodging the stun. Then he Yule Scepters just to bait out a little bit more. Mag and Eternal Envy going hard, but he gets Abyssal Blade. Focus. Then they bash him in time. The RP's there. Will connect. He gets off the Sunder on his teammate, though, not on Fear. Eternal Envy kept alive. Now Fear being pursued out by Illusions. Still standing strong for the time being. Now he gets bashed and focused. Chain stun. One more stun. The Earthshaker combos him to smithereens. Ice Path, Honey Nut UI 2000. Pilot Eye also taking damage. They've lost 3. They're going to lose 4. And GG. He missed Sundered in the team fight, but I really don't know if it would have mattered anyway.
I don't think it would have mattered at all. After that Sunder, he just couldn't attack. He got chain stunned for about 6 to 7 seconds. That was the end of him. He used all of his gold to buy that butterfly. He knew that that's when something could happen. It didn't happen. They call it. EG will take game 1 convincingly with an amazing draft and great play by, I would say, all the team.
They crafted a solution to Terrorblade. That was not just a medley of heroes thrown together, Bruno. We're already back on camera. Hi, guys.
Hi.
It was a really nice counter Terrorblade draft.
Yeah, they executed so well. And again, as you said before, it was just they preparing against the Terrorblade. Terrorblade was key in the C9 versus Alliance series. Right now, didn't matter so much.
So they banned out the Drow Visage strat, and now they've beaten the Terrorblade. Cloud9, your move. That's kind of the story of the series from up to date.
Yeah, and we'll see if Eternal Envy will try and get the Terrorblade again and try a second try, or just going for something different next time.
They have run some more aggressive strats earlier this tournament, as we do see the comparison of the carry players, though really Fear was in a different role than Eternal Envy this game. I'd say it's the better comparison is probably RTZ to Fear, but either way, Fear had a great game there, and he was set up nicely by his team. And, well, with that said, we can run through a few more of the players. Universe, I think you have to ban the Jakiro. Yeah. He got all 3 of the tier 1s for them. The Lycan of RTZ didn't really threaten a tower all game until much later on.
Yeah, of course.
I think Secret had the right idea banning out that Razor Jakiro.
That Jakiro is so scary because it's easy to overlook a hero that looks so much like a support and that has been for the last 2 years consistently only played as a support. But EG found a new role for this hero. The new changes on Liquid Fire, on Dual Breath, and just the fact that this hero is really tanky and can get away with so much means a lot, and teams will have to learn to adapt to it.
The thing for me that really puts Jakiro over the top is the Yule Scepter build, because it used to be, like, what's your knock on Jakiro? Well, he doesn't really roam that great early on, and he doesn't have, like, a reliable initiation. But once you get a Yule Scepter, that changes. You Yules, you Ice Path, and of course he offers you still Mass Creep Clear, early tower push, he does it all from the off lane, and he scales pretty well into late game because if it goes really late, then BKBs tend to wear off and have low durations, and magic damage is king at that point in some ways.
Absolutely.
Well, with that, guys, that wraps up game 1 of this best of 3. EG now lead Cloud9 1-0. Can they make it a 2-0 and have a rematch with Secret in the grand finals, or will we have a game 3? You'll just have to stick around to find out. He's Bruno, of course. You can follow him at StatsmanBruno on Twitter, and we'll be right back for game number 2.
esportsbets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of prediction